Is my girlfriend inappropriate with her male best friend? If the roles were reversed, would she be pissed? I dated a girl who was still obsessed with her previous boyfriend, who then became her best friend, and she thought it was completely normal. I'd come home from work to them having tickle fights on the couch. They'd say, "I love you," to each other regularly, on the phone, saying goodbye, etc. The ex-boyfriend loved it and I'm sure knew exactly what was happening and getting off on the attention. But she thought I was nuts for having a problem with it. Before I finally broke it off with her, I brought up how weird it is that they cuddle, tickle each other, say "I love you." She just said, "But I do love him and that will never change." It was such a weird relationship. I recently heard from a friend that she no longer talks to him because his now wife had a serious problem with her. No surprise there. For me, this one is simple. The only opinion that matters is yours. If you trust her and think what she's doing isn't shady, then trust yourself and your judgment. The fact you are even making this post means you are either looking for a reassurance that it's not shady or b. reassurance that it is shady. Regardless of which option you are looking for, it means you think there is an element of shadiness to the situation. The way I see it, there are ultimately only two options. 1. You ignore your own suspicions and put your trust in her. If you're going to do that, you have to wholly put your faith in her or it'll constantly eat away at you. Point 2. You trust your gut and decide that there's a reason you feel the way you do. At that point you have to end it or tell her that you can't carry on the relationship as it currently is. People will say, you can't control her, who she sees or how she acts, but you can give her the opportunity to change the way she acts in a way that she maintains both relationships without you feeling like a line has been crossed. There is a massive problem if you feel that you can't talk to your partner about these kind of things. Being genuine and honest with each other. It feels like if you met her last week. It's important to note that boundaries are important to be set, but also that boundaries are often involuntary with a specific consequence. You are welcome to have a boundary that you set, such as not staying overnight with single male friends or sending hearts over text. She is welcome not to opt into that boundary. If she chooses not to opt in, the consequence is that you two do not have a compatible relationship and you'll need to see other people. And that's perfectly fine. You are not required to stay with someone who chooses not to opt into your boundary, and she is not required to stay with someone who has a boundary she doesn't feel works for her. The only one that can answer this is you. What are you comfortable with? I tell my friends, male and female, I love them all the time. Either with a love heart or saying, "I love you, mate." This isn't inappropriate in my relationship, as the context is just friends showing a bit of platonic love and care for each other. However, I could understand why this wouldn't be okay for you. You should sit down and calmly and maturely have a chat about boundaries and what you both agree is and isn't acceptable in your relationship. Every relationship is different. Most people would consider cheating to be physically touching something else, or sexting. Sending a love heart doesn't necessarily cross that barrier depending on the context. You need to decide what you are okay with. Festival girls with a guy best friend, a tale as old as time. That would be enough for me to lose interest in the relationship. Instead of saying "don't do this thing," say, "This is how I feel when this happens." If she cares about you, she'll want to prevent these negative feelings if reasonable and provide assurance that the relationship is strong. If she keeps doing the same, then she either doesn't care or disagrees and is unwilling to compromise. It's not generally accepted to stay over at people's houses where intimate moments could easily happen, and you're not weird for being uncomfortable with that. It's not controlling to state your needs, and if she doesn't agree, then there will be a compatibility issue. Look, man. Redditors will tell you there is nothing wrong with your partner sleeping with the opposite gender. Friend, buddy, coworker, what have you, and if you have a problem with this, you are controlling, insecure, blah blah. In the real world, this crosses 99% of relationship boundaries, and most people aren't okay with their significant other spending days sleeping over and sending overly affectionate texts. It's your boundary. Be firm. If she or Redditors think you are controlling or you don't trust her, whatever. Either she respects your boundary or not. I'm just here to tell you that your boundary is an extremely common one in real life, despite Redditors making it seem like it's not. Tell her you're going to stay at another girl's house for a while. So what you think it will happen if you suddenly have a female bestie like this? Your biggest mistake right now is going to Reddit for advice. You've got a brain and a heart. Listen to them. Godspeed, young prince. #OurGirlfriend. Recently it was mentioned that she and this male friend sends each other hearts via texts. Bruh. I am stuck on the point that she sleeps over at her male friend's house while her brother's house is nearby. Or a hotel. That is so weird to me. It does scream that she is being inappropriate. Brother, you're probably the male best friend too. Stop karma farming. No way you don't see this absolute Pacific Ocean of red flags. Find someone else.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.